What is going on, YouTube, or anywhere else you watch podcasts? This is the Binkz and Doodle effect coming at you with another episode this week. I am one of your hosts, Binkz, and as always, joined with me, Mr. DrewskiDoodle over here to my right. How are you doing this week, Mr. DrewskiDoodle?
I'm feeling cheery. How about you?
I'm doing good. We have the first week of fantasy playoffs in our lap, so hopefully...
Okay, I'm less cheery now. Thanks.
For those of you guys who play fantasy football, I hope you guys did the best you guys could. I hope you guys won your matches. Andrew definitely has a story that he can tell later on. But before we get into anything, we're just going to quickly shout out Rogue Energy. Premium energy and focus supplement designed to optimize your mental and physical performance. And unlike unhealthy canned energy drinks, this powerful supplement can be taken daily for overall improved performance and is packed with vitamins and amino acids. Healthy way to kind of just get an energy boost, way better than those energy drinks like Monster or Red Bull and all that. If you use the code GETLIVID, you get 5% off your entire purchase, and we recommend the starter pack. You get a shaker and like 6 different flavors to try out instead of, risking it all on a tub that you may not like. So Rogue Energy, Get Livid, 5% off. Hit us up. Tweet at us. Let us know that you used the code. We hope you enjoy it. But moving on to the world of baseball, not much has happened that is notable and really kind of disgusting. But
Ain't that
the New York Mets signed Jared Porter as their general manager. I've heard nothing but good things about him. I've never heard his name ever in my life beforehand, but I've heard nothing but good things about him. And for once, the Mets Facebook page wasn't toxic Met fans. So all signs pointing in the right direction, I would assume.
If you don't have Mets fans claiming that the sky is falling, that usually means it's a good decision.
Exactly. So I'm going with the general consensus of Met fans that this guy's decent. So
yeah.
And listen, Cohen wants to win World Series. I'm not gonna doubt his picks. I'm gonna roll with him.
Yeah. Oh, actually, here's a baseball headline I forgot about.
All right.
The Major League Baseball, not the Players Association, Major League Baseball wants to possibly delay the season until they can get all the players vaccinated.
Interesting.
Until May, which I get why they would, but also don't let regular people have the vaccines who aren't in tip-top shape. These guys just keep it as a bubble for now. I get they want it might help bring people in a way, but no, let the people have it who aren't.
See what happens to the people that take it first before we jump in. I mean, that's just
that.
Yeah.
Not even that it's bad. They just might put them out of playing shape.
Exactly. You don't know the side. You can't. With something developed that quick, you're not going to be able to really know the side effects until a lot of people start getting it. So I would agree with you and just let them wait, keep them in the bubble, see the effects. Just not even just for playing performance, just in general. But that's it. Other than that, really nothing. Quiet in the world of baseball. Quiet.
That stove is cold.
Yeah, no, but we do have a hot topic in college. If any college football fan, what happened to the Gators. The stupidest penalty in the world. Marco Wilson, if you are listening to the Binkz and Doodle effect, what were you thinking? Honestly, seriously, what were you thinking? For those of you guys who do not know what happened, the Gators were tied with LSU, fourth quarter, under 2 minutes. They stop them on third down, gonna get the punt, gonna get good field position. Probably would have been able to drive the ball 30, 40 yards, if that, get into field goal range, win the game, still have your college playoff hopes intact. Marco Wilson decides to take the shoe of an LSU player and chuck it 20 yards down the field. Immediately gets called for a flag, unsportsmanlike conduct. Automatic first down, 15 yards. LSU ends up driving down into field goal range and kicks a game-winning field goal. Florida Gators' playoff chances are done. Even if they beat Alabama in the championship game, they are not making the playoffs.
How dumb can you be?
It is senior night as well for the Gators, and he is a senior. So for the rest of this man's life, he will have to live with his last college football game. He costed his entire team a chance at the playoffs.
Wild.
Yeah. Off the field, he ended up getting actually hit with one of the students in Florida threw a rock at this man's head. He ended up going to the hospital. After he gets out of the hospital, he now has campus security and police by his house, making sure no one like breaks in and like kills this kid. This kid was getting like death threats. Like the Florida campus is looking to like hang this kid. And listen, you go to college, you're very passionate about your football team. I get it, but like Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I get it. Like when the Rangers happen to mistakenly lose to the Islanders, like I want to burn things down. I'm not going to actually do it. Like, just keep sports separate from real life.
It was the dumbest penalty you will ever probably see in your life. Like, I want to know. I would have loved to have been sitting in like the locker room.
Oh God!
Like after the game, like what do you do? Like if that's my teammate, I'm probably throwing him against a locker.
I don't know. I think you're just too mad to even look at it.
Unbelievable. I mean, you still play, hockey now.
Mm-hmm.
Say you are fighting for your playoff chances. This is your last time ever being able to play hockey in this league, and one of your teammates does something to cause a penalty to make you lose the game, cost you your playoff hopes, your last year. The rage inside of you. I mean, you're gonna want to kill that kid.
Literally actually just happened this past Sunday. It wasn't a guy on my team, it was the referee.
Okay.
But I actually wanted to murder that referee.
So you understand. So you must understand how the whole Gator team must feel.
Yes.
So the only positives is that, Trask, the Florida Gator quarterback, he's on the pick of the Heisman this year. Phenomenal year. He came out and he blamed himself. He didn't even mention Marco Wilson, which was, I thought was, good and shows leadership. I'm gonna be excited to watch him in the NFL next year if he decides to go into the draft. I think
he showed that he can handle media.
Exactly. I think he's gonna be good. So good luck to him.
Part.
Good luck to him.
Harder than the sport is handling media.
Exactly.
It's that's the worst part about it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. But listen, congratulations to Trask for all he's done this year for the Gators and the phenomenal year that kid had. I'm excited to see if he actually goes into the draft. I think he is. I think from what I heard is that he actually wants to go to medical school. He wanted to be like a doctor or something like that. So he doesn't know if he actually wants to be in the NFL. And I had discussed this with other friends. I get it, if you don't want to be doing football your entire life, but why would you pass up on the guaranteed millions of the first round pick? Because Trask probably would be a first round pick to teams that need a quarterback. If you don't like football after the 3 years of your rookie contract, you make your millions and you do what you want to do, then you use your degree. But at least give football a shot. That's just that's just me. But yeah. Moving on to actual football. Patrick Mahomes, 3 interceptions. Not his best game. Probably his worst first quarter of his entire life.
Yeah. That was wild. I mean, that Miami defense, though.
It is. Miami defense is probably one of the best defenses in the league.
Yeah.
Still continuing that turnover streak.
Mm-hmm.
Only team to have a turnover or force a turnover every single game this year. And now with Mahomes throwing 3 interceptions, you could argue on MVP between him and Rodgers. I'm personally, it's going to sound biased, but I'm going with Aaron Rodgers as the MVP of this year.
Oh, are you?
I am going Aaron Rodgers this year, yeah. Andrew, I know you're going to disagree with me, and I know you have your own.
No, I don't. I don't know if I do disagree. I mean, he's killing it. The duo of Rodgers and Adams is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost unbeatable. I don't know if I disagree with you.
Who else would you have?
Tim or Patty, no one else is really standing out to me.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we talked about this last week. It's hard for anyone who's not a quarterback to win unless you're really balling out. Yeah, it's hard to make a case for anybody else besides those two.
No,
I can't. Yeah, I really can't think of anybody. I really can't.
So I was seeing a bunch of people saying that a quarterback shouldn't be the one to win the MVP this year, but a lot of people are getting behind Derrick Henry as MVP.
Yeah. Yeah, I could definitely see that. But again, I just quarterbacks obviously have the most impact on the game for the most part.
Definitely.
And like I said, I really don't. The only person, hear me out, this is a hot take. The only person I can see that I would love this take is burning hot. If my ideal Super Bowl happens, which at this point is the Washington football team versus either the Buffalo Bills or the Miami Dolphins. That's what I want out of this football season right now. Chase Young. Bro, I know he's a defensive player. They don't win MVP a lot, but holy crap.
Man's killing it.
He's nuts.
Chase Young
is
killing it.
Absolutely nuts.
Rookie of the year?
Watch. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Because you also had the debate with Herbert for Rookie of the Year.
No, I think Chase Young just took him over. I can't not give it to him. You see what this defense is doing, and it's mostly him. Like, even if he's not doing it, him being on that team has revitalized that defense. That was already pretty good.
Yeah, low-key,
They're
Washington
terrifying.
Defense is pretty solid. Low-key,
Washington
Low-key.
as a whole is nice.
Mm-hmm. Washington's probably going to win the division.
I think they are,
More
and
than
I
likely.
honestly think they have the second best chance of winning the NFC. Their biggest test is Green Bay. Depending on what happens with Drew Brees,
Okay, I'm listening.
because you don't know if he comes back and immediately gets hurt again with the type of injury that he had. I think that Washington 110% will beat a Saints team without Drew Brees.
That's a hot
There's
take.
a hot take, but they have a sick run defense that could hopefully neutralize what's his name?
Kamara.
Yep, Kamara and Taysom Hill. And then their other biggest competition is the Rams. I'm not sold on them. The Seahawks, like the Washington offense is pretty good. I don't think the Seahawks defense will hold them at all. Then it's Tampa Bay, who you never know what you're going to see out of them. So I really think Washington has a nice shot of winning the NFC.
That's a hot take.
If they don't have the second best chance, they got the third. Nobody else stands out to me.
You have them beating Tampa Bay. You have them beating New Orleans. You have them beating Seattle.
New Orleans, if
Drew
Brees
is out.
If Drew Brees is in, I don't think they win.
So
if
you
he's
have
out,
you have them beating Tampa Bay and the Seahawks.
Yep.
Interesting. I personally
that defense is gross.
I think personally Washington's a one and done team. I think anyone out of the NFC East is going to be a one and done team. Because more than likely, I think right now, the NFC East plays the Seahawks in the first round. I think the Seahawks are the 5th seed, if I'm not mistaken.
As of right now,
I'm
yes.
pretty sure the Seahawks are the 5th seed as of right now.
Depending on what happens between them and Tampa Bay.
Yeah, so right now it would be Washington, Seattle.
Yeah.
So that's going to be.
It's not obviously that's it's playoff mode. Russell Wilson. That is not
exactly. In a young Washington team without playoff experience.
I just see Washington gel. Again, this also depends on if Alex Smith is okay, which he probably is.
Mm-hmm.
But he did leave the game with that blow up cast on.
Yeah.
He's probably fine. But Alex Young is obviously going to win comeback player of the year. He's playing really well, and they have Terry McLaurin.
Stud.
Hopefully, absolute stud. Hopefully, they're going to have Antonio Gibson back by the time for the playoffs. Also a stud.
Mm-hmm.
And they have that defense. So that is a team to be reckoned with. That is an upset alert if they play if they get past the first round, end up playing, say, Green Bay or New Orleans.
Yeah, no, listen, it's going to be exciting to watch them in the playoffs. Because more than likely, they are going to be the team that wins the NFC East. I can't see the Cowboys or the Giants. Listen, the Giants have a decent team. I just don't think they're going to. Dude, Daniel Jones has not been looking good.
And Washington
has been looking good.
I think, honestly, 2 guaranteed wins left. They play the Panthers and the Eagles to cap off the season the last 2 weeks.
See, now,
They play Seattle this week.
Don't count the Eagles out, though. You heard of Elf on the Shelf. How about Wentz on a bench? We got
best thing that could happen to
best thing that could have happened to Philadelphia. I've only been saying this for how many podcasts now that Carson Wentz is terrible. Jalen Hurts, that's their quarterback. he looks like he is doing things on the run. He is making plays and passes that Wentz couldn't do. He upset the Saints. Now, granted, like you said, Drew Brees isn't there, but he's a rookie.
It's still the Saints.
It's still the Saints. Saints have a solid defense.
Mm-hmm.
And the Eagles upset them. Listen, Jalen Hurts. Wentz is done. Wentz isn't going to see the ball. Isn't going to be a starter anymore. He's done. I mean, the best chance he has for starting is like if he went to like the Jets or something like that, if that. But listen, Jalen Hurts, congratulations, balling out, absolute. He's going to be I feel good about him. So and next year the Eagles are probably going to be right there with Washington for the division. But that's actually going to be if Dak Prescott comes back as well, fully ready to go, and the Cowboys, can revive themselves a little bit. That NFC East is going to be going from like the worst division in football to
a nasty
one of the most competitive ones in football because all 4 teams are going to be pretty much solid. So it's going to be exciting. I like watching
the Eagles. The Eagles are they got 4 wins. Okay, so they're not really a threat this year, but next year.
Next year they'll be definitely a threat.
Because I'm looking ahead, the Giants are probably going to go 1-2 because they play the Browns, the Ravens, and the Giants. I mean, the Cowboys. They're not going to beat the Browns. It's not going to happen.
No. Absolutely.
They could beat the Ravens. The Ravens are iffy. You never know. We'll see.
Listen, the Giants can surprise you. Giants 1 week beat Seattle and then get bent over by another team. So it's iffy, just like the Bears. Bears are definitely iffy, scoring 36 points.
They're so confusing.
They've gone through so many different quarterback changes. Back and forth. You have Trubisky, you have Foles. Now back to Trubisky. Listen, the Bears are nothing special.
No, they're not.
Nothing special.
It helped when David Montgomery ripped an 80-yard rushing TD in the first 2 minutes of the game.
He had a game.
It sucked when you're going against them in fantasy. That was great. Well, I have been talking so much trash about Dave Montgomery all year. I hate him. I don't think he's good. Yeah, 100%. Him, and I also played against A-Rob, who dropped 25. So that was great. That was fun.
See, I also agree with you, though, because I don't think David Montgomery is anything special.
No, he's not. I mean, it helped they played Houston. Houston's defense is terrible. But listen, the blind squirrel finds a nut every now and again.
And of course, that just had to happen when you were playing him in fantasy. It's always what happens, though. It's always what happens. They always have. I always have. I'm versing someone who always gets like their biggest game of their like career when I'm versing them. It just always so happens to be that way. Or whenever I get a big play, I see a flag and it comes back, and it's just like it's infuriating. I hate fantasy football. Can't stand it. The Steelers. What's going on, Andrew?
Garbage.
Hear me out. What if they really were pretenders this entire year because they were versing terrible teams?
They are pretenders.
Listen, Ben doesn't look good. And and receivers are just dropping shit.
And their backs aren't doing anything either. The team is garbage.
They have a phenomenal defense, arguably the best in the league, but their offense just isn't there, and your defense could only hold you for so much where they need their offense to actually do something. Yeah. And I just feel like it's just not clicking. Receivers are dropping balls. Ben is just off.
Who was that? Deontay Johnson dropped like 5 balls last night?
Ridiculous.
They benched them. Like, what do you...
And Tomlin said to them, is like, if you drop any balls, you're done. You're gonna get replaced, and that's I don't care how good you are or what your name is or prestige. I mean, if you're dropping balls and you're just not there, then you're gonna do what's best for the team. You're gonna get benched. I mean, it's not often, but DeGrom has been pulled in the second inning before because he's been lit up. It happens. It happens. You can't expect greatness every single time. But I
mean, that team is not going to do well in playoffs. They're not.
First of all, I don't think the Steelers win the 1 seed. And
no, they're not.
Because I don't see the Chiefs losing another game.
No, they're not going to outwin the Chiefs in the last 3 weeks. It's not going to happen. Not at all.
And I think the Steelers could be a one-and-done team.
They will be. I honestly, if I had to make power rankings for the AFC right now, they'd be 4, maybe 5.
Wow.
They're not better than the Chiefs. I think the Bills would beat them every time now, even before the other night.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think they'd beat the Titans. I'd put them on par with the Browns right now. I don't think they'd beat the Titans, the Bills, or the Chiefs.
I'm excited to see them play the Browns.
Yeah. I mean, those are always good games. Pittsburgh, Cleveland.
All division games are always going to be good games, but Ravens did come to play against the Browns.
Game was nutty.
And the Browns did take a big L. Lamar Jackson, probably the best game he's had all year.
Yeah,
realistically,
absolutely.
About time for that man to wake up and finally, play some football. He did leave in the second half. It was just so fitting that he was playing the Browns because he took the Browns to the Super Bowl. And I don't know if you saw the videotape of the locker room of that man running through the halls.
No, I did not.
Oh, I have to send it to you after this. After done the show, I have to send this to you. My man, you see him. The camera catches him coming down the hallway in a jog of I got a shit jog. My man, and you could see it. And someone opens the door as he's about to go in, and he pushes him away and runs in. My man had to poop. Everyone in, I don't care who you are, every single person, male or female, you've had a situation where you were going to shit your pants. It's happened to everyone. You've had that I'm gonna explode type of situation where you needed to find a toilet ASAP. And it happened to my man Lamar Jackson. He came back out though, feeling refreshed as hell.
Light as a feather, man.
And they ended up winning, man. Nice little comeback. Ravens pick up the W. Pretty much hurts the Browns' chance of actually winning the division now with that loss.
Yeah.
So they win that game. They're one game out with still playing Pittsburgh. They have a shot at the division, but that pretty much secures the Pittsburgh's probably going to win the division at that point. I don't see them losing out to the Browns now, even if they lose to the Browns. But anything could actually happen.
This is true. This is a wild year for the playoffs.
Exactly.
It's a very wild year.
The Bills did surprise me. I was not expecting them because they were on and off in the beginning of the year. I mean, they looked like they would be a good contender team, and then other weeks where they would barely put up any points, and they would look like, what's going on with the Bills? What's going on with Josh Allen? He's not doing anything. And the past couple of weeks, they've actually looked like a solid unit that can make some noise in the playoffs.
Absolutely.
Hot take, not really a hot take, but I was saying AFC Championship game was going to be Steelers, Chiefs, but as of recent, I think Chiefs Bills for the AFC champ to go to the Super Bowl. That's
honestly
AFC Championship games. Chiefs.
At this point, you could toss a coin for the Chiefs, the Bills, or even the Titans to win that conference.
You were really high on the Titans.
Listen, Derrick Henry's a freight train. If you can't stop him, you're not going to win. And out of everybody, the only team that I think has a good enough defense to really neutralize him is the Steelers, but the Steelers' offense is just so bad, I don't think they beat the Titans.
That's a fair point.
The Chiefs have a solid defense, but it's not good enough to stop Derrick Henry. They have the offense to support it, obviously. The Bills, they're okay. It's pretty good. But yeah, I definitely see the Titans being they're the 4 seed. You can't call them a sleeper, but they have a good shot of winning the whole thing. But I'm still, the whole AFC as of right now, I don't know. I got a twinge about the Bills.
Listen, we'll see. How about the NFC?
I'm calling it right now. I'm taking Washington.
Washington?
I am so high on Washington right now.
So I am taking Washington Packers NFC Championship game?
Yep.
And you think Washington goes to the Super Bowl? Bro.
Big upset.
Bro, come on.
Bro, wait, I was calling the Dolphins a playoff team in week 3.
Come on.
Look what's happening.
Dude, Dolphins are going to be in the playoffs.
They are. They're going to play the Chiefs the first round, probably. Which, honestly, we just saw is going to be a good game.
Yeah. Dude, all the playoff games this year are going to be great. Yeah. No, they're not going to be playing the Chiefs in the first round because the Chiefs are going to win the...
Oh, these are a bye.
Chiefs are going to get the bye, yeah.
They play Pittsburgh as of right now. But...
And you know what? The Dolphins could upset Pittsburgh.
They could, even though I think they're probably going to end up playing... Can they play Buffalo in the first round?
Buffalo is going to be right now, what, the 3 seed?
They're 3 right now. But is there a restriction on division teams playing each other in the first round?
I don't think so. I think it's just going to go by seeding.
Okay. Then, yeah, they could play the Bills.
They could.
But I think they're probably going to play the Bills. I think the Bills are going to overtake the Steelers. There's a 1-win difference, 3 weeks left.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun... Every playoff game.
I'll say right now, if they play the Steelers, the Dolphins are winning.
Hot take.
The Dolphins are winning that game. If they play the Bills, I don't know.
You think Tua in his first playoff match in Heinz Field has it?
Defense wins championships. That defense is
Tua
gross.
has shown that he struggles somewhat in the cold.
He does. But again, defense wins championships. And even if Tua is meh, the Dolphins have a sneaky run game.
All right.
Myles Gaskin is no joke.
I respect it.
And as long as Mike Gesicki's shoulder is not separated from his body,
dude,
he is nasty.
I hope that guy comes back, man. I need him.
I love him so much.
I need him. Real quick, fantasy. If you guys are playing fantasy, I hope you guys won your matchup, like I said in the beginning of this match. Andrew actually had a very interesting match in one of his leagues. If you want to...
Yeah. So, a little backstory. Number 1 seed, 11-2. This is a 14-man league, so if you say my team is cheeks, keep that in mind. I had to survive this first round of the playoffs with CMC, DJ Moore out, and Devontae Parker getting hurt in the first 2 minutes of the game. I came down to I was winning by 9 points with the Baltimore-Cleveland game left. I had Kareem Hunt. My opponent had Lamar Jackson. We all know what Lamar Jackson did, but we know what Kareem Hunt did. So it was right before Cleveland scored to tie it. And I was down by I don't know, 9 points. I'm like, this is over. Kareem Hunt scores a touchdown. Not only was it a touchdown, it was a passing touchdown, which is the reason I took the lead by about 2 points. Lamar gets the ball back with a minute left. I'm calculating in my head how many yards until I lose. My app then crashes, and I turn on the game on my TV because I didn't have it on my TV, and I see what's-his-face lining up to kick a field goal. I'm like, oh, God, oh, no. How many yards did Lamar Jackson just get? I look at my fantasy app, and down to the 100th of a point, we are tied at 112 and 200ths of a point. Tied. Didn't know what to do. Shocked. Appalled. Looking for answers. Stat corrections made me win. They gave Kareem Hunt 7 extra yards. Thank you, gods. But apparently I would have won anyway because I was the higher seed. But I have never seen a tie in a league that goes to a 100th of a point, especially in the playoffs.
Wild.
I wish I could have bet on that.
Wild. Can you imagine 112.02 to 112.02?
And I could not be. I was 11-2. I could not be a one and done team like that. And I was sweating.
You almost were. You are 1 yard rushing or passing from Lamar Jackson from being eliminated.
Literally, yeah. Anybody. I mean, I cannot, dude. If Devontae Parker could have played, that would have been nice.
Yeah, of course.
But he got hurt, so it's
wow. Okay. See, now I won my fantasy league week as well, different league than Andrew's. And I am hurting without CMC. And I need my man to come back. I need my man to please play football again.
And you don't have Mike Davis to make up for it. I do.
I don't have Mike Davis to make up for it. I'm struggling. I'm hurting in the running back committee. And I thank my lucky stars that this season I was the number 1 seed in the league for probably half the year. I was the number 1 seed. Mm-hmm. I don't know how I was still winning, and I lost, I think, by a point or 2 1 week, and I hung on to the 3rd seed at that point after that loss. And I survived my first round, but man, if I want to go back-to-back champs in that league, I need CMC. I don't see my path of a championship without CMC. I can't continue to keep getting lucky. And to make matters worse, I had CMC. I also had Kittle, who's also out in that league.
Oh God.
So just think of that for a second. Ooh. My first overall pick and my second overall pick
gone.
Went down for the year.
Oh no.
I mean, my third overall pick was Patty Mahomes, who has single-handedly carried me to a couple of victories.
He helped.
He definitely helped, and my receiving core is nasty, but it's just not enough to give me a dub. It's not going to be enough to bring me the championship. So we'll see. I'm in 2 leagues. I survived both leagues in the playoffs week 1. I'm not too optimistic in week 2 of the playoffs in both leagues as well. So that's my story.
I was 1 yard away from having the worst fantasy week of my life, being booted from 3 different leagues as playoffs. Thank God I survived 1.
Yeah. However, quickly wrap this up. The Thursday night game, Andrew, we are tied at 10-6 for the Thursday night games. We are coming down to the wire on our picks here. It's the first time we're tied in a long time.
Yeah, it is.
Because it's not like you tied me to take the lead for Thanksgiving because you just went ahead of me in Thanksgiving. There was never a tie.
Yeah.
So it's the first time we're tied in like weeks.
And we got a doozy this week.
Chargers, Raiders, I actually don't know who I want. So part of me wants to take the Raiders because I feel like that's the obvious choice with the way the Chargers are. And at the same time, the Raiders have proven that they could really suck, and the Chargers are like the best terrible team in the league. If that makes sense at all.
Listen, I get it. I'm taking the Chargers.
You're taking the Chargers, so you're going to force my hand. Do I want to risk it this week and roll the dice and pick the Raiders because you went with the Chargers, or do I wait for a better matchup that I think I will win?
I'll give you my reasoning.
Let's
this
hear
is
it.
not to sway you in either way.
Let's hear it. Okay.
That's it.
That's
everything.
it. That's what you're going on right there.
I think Bosa and Eckler are just better than the Raiders. I don't even care about Justin Herbert.
Eckler is definitely a cheat code now that he's back.
Yeah. And like I said, the Raiders just have flashes of garbageness, and they almost lost to the Jets, and the Jets didn't throw. I have no confidence in the Oakland Raiders. The Chargers will win this week.
Yeah, I can't roll the dice. I'm gonna go with the Chargers. I feel like even win or lose, that's the safest pick for me right now. I don't mean to be boring and pick what you just picked, but like I can't. I want to choose the Raiders because you chose the Chargers. I want to so bad, but I also don't want to lose either, and I can't. That's not a game I'm gonna roll the dice with. So.
I completely understand. I felt the same way.
I'm not rolling the dice with that. So we're both going to pick the Chargers. We're both either going to be 10-7 next week, or we're both going to be 11-6.
Which means we're going to go into the last Thursday night game of the year tied.
Which is going to make it
exactly how I expected it to turn out.
I you know what? It's better this way that I went with the Chargers than with you. But we're going to wrap that up. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening. Make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications. New episode every Wednesday at 3 o'clock. Comment down below if you have a topic you would like to hear, or if something comes up in the world and you want us to talk about it, throw us a comment. We didn't get any questions of the week this week, so a little sad. But it is what it is. It is what it is. But if you're listening to anywhere you listen to podcasts, leave us a 5-star review. If we see your review, we will give you a nice little shout out on the show. But as always, thank you guys for watching, and until next week, Mr. DrewskiDoodle.
Deuce.
Peace out.
Yeah.